Welcome to Soul, and my name is Rose from the Brahma Kumaris in Glasgow. And the title today is Keep It Simple with Positive Ripples. Nice, unusual. Okay, so do you know how powerful you are? All of us are powerful, powerful souls. Whether we're positive or negative, we're powerful. We can have incredibly powerful negativity and incredibly powerful good feelings. So, what is it about this ripple effect? We all know, we know this bit, but it's good to use it for today. Every one of us is a soul, and your energy has an effect on everyone and everything in the world. And we know, we've been told that when you drop a stone or a pebble into a pool, especially in a pool, where you can see how it goes out to touch the entire pool. Every thought we have, be it a good thought or not such a good thought, it creates a ripple effect in the entire world. So that's why we say that what is it you give out and what is it you take? So we encourage when we do meditation, I'm sure a few of you sitting, listening to this, do meditation, to take happiness and not to take sadness. Now we're all in the world. This whole world is creating lots of ripples that are not so pleasant. But we move into a different space. We call it the space of change, where we choose to change. And so take happiness. Don't take the sadness. And again, I mean, in other religions you hear that if someone gives you something unpleasant, hands it to you, don't take it. You refuse to take it. You would step away and say, why are you handing that to me? So when someone's giving you something bad, don't take it. And just say no, just in your mind. Do you accept insults? I mean, who really knows you well enough to insult you dramatically? And so if you keep sadness in your mind, how would you feel? If you feel really upset by someone insulting you, and it does happen a lot, I think. And that's just one tiny thing. There's lots of other bigger things happening out there. Do I feel sad? Do I feel fear? Do I feel worry? Do I feel concern? We say, move into your special space and talk to yourself and say, I'm not going there, because what I take into my mind, what I allow to affect me, will go out into the world, because I'll create these ripples with my energy. So I'll be very little different. You see, there's billions of souls on the planet, and there's not billions of souls doing meditation. And we could think we're being quite clever and maybe quite smart because we're doing meditation, so we're the good guys. But if I'm also putting out sadness and worry and fear to a big extent, I'm no different. I'm just kind of processing it a bit different and know what a better result would be, but am I actually feeling I'm having a better result than the ones who are just throwing out all the insults and the heavy things without knowing anything? So if I've moved into my special space, I will be doing everything to do my best to remain steady and not go too deep with the insult, and not to keep the sadness in my mind. Because if I keep sadness in my mind, who would be upset by that? First of all, would be me. And so, what good did I do at that point? What kind of ripple effect did I create? I created sadness and disenchantment and sorrow and worry, and maybe even wanted revenge for whoever was cheeky to me. So just remember, you have that special space, remember your self-respect, and say to yourself, who am I? I do know better. And so we need to teach ourselves that I don't need to argue or prove myself to be right. I can learn, if I keep instilling that strength of peace inside me, it will make me stronger and stronger. Can we correct others to show them the error of their ways? No. This seldom is the case. It seldom would work. In fact, it could create quite a storm. You want to keep away from storms. Because most people can't accept any form of criticism or correction in any way. Even if they were really bad to you, they would turn it around that you started it. They would be scratched, they would be angry, and it would be very tricky to stop from getting into that interaction with them. So I need to start to learn how to control myself the best way I can. The best way is meditation, because it deepens the peacefulness of my nature. Peace is steadiness and strength and inner power. So the more I'm able to become silent, still, steady and powerful, the more I'm able to stay in my special space, not just during meditation, but during periods of time during the day. And I'll feel more content, more content, more content. I'm sure most of you are agreeing with this. So keep dropping positive pebbles into the lake of life and watch the ripples spread, because it will affect the people around you. It might not seem so obvious, as I'm sure a lot of you know. You can think, gosh, I've been giving them good wishes for years and I don't see a change, but I wonder what would have happened if you hadn't been doing that. There would be a change, but it can be subtle, and so just accept them for who they are, where they are, whatever they're doing. Compliment, praise them, smile at them and love them. That would be my advice. Ripples spread. So learn to stay above in your special space, above negativity. This is not giving up, thinking you're letting the bad guy always get away with insulting you or whatever. This isn't giving up. This is wisdom. This is being wise. You're actually safeguarding your own energy. So I learn to accept myself and to accept others. Soul conscious love makes everything easy. The more I appreciate myself and think I'm doing the best I can, not perfect, haven't reached that, but I'm making a big difference in myself. So meditation helps me to see my nature and my natural loving self, because I don't want to hurt anybody. They may keep going hurting me because they're not recognizing the changes, but I have to become impervious to that. This is what the ripple effect's all about. When I understand the ripple effect, and if I understand the ocean of love, the source, the divine, that ocean of love will support me in my loving feelings. And again, it's subtle, but I can definitely start to experience that it's there and that it's getting stronger, which means the ripples, the pebbles I put out into the world of loving energy is coming back to me. What you put out comes back. Remember that. If I keep putting out worry and sadness and sorrow and stress, this will also come back to me and it'll seem I'm getting heavier. But if I recognize that if I put out love and peace and happiness and understanding and courage and lightness, that will also come back to me. So never to feel that I'm getting weak, but let me uncover weak patterns of thinking and create positive patterns. And yes, there are many challenges. There's challenges about all the different things because I'm trying something that not everyone's trying to do. But I'm determined. If I think negatively about others, what will the impact of that be on me? I'll have negativity flooding my mind. And then I'll feel, oh gosh, I wish I hadn't done that. Or, oh, I don't feel too good. Or, oh, I feel quite heavy. I feel disappointed. You'll have all sorts of worry and even fear. There'll be people who will actually challenge you with fear, make you fearful. And have to teach ourselves as well to go beyond that. Even if I can manage it a little, I'll be doing well, and I just congratulate myself and keep going. So if I do think negatively about others, the impact will come back to me. So if you can say or do something positive about yourself or others, again remember that energy is like magic energy. Sincerely look out into the world and see, and we do know there's a lot of energy that isn't magic energy going on out there. And so, of course, it's different. But let me stay as best I can in my special space and appreciate the wonder that I'm able to think about this positive energy. The fact I'm even thinking about it makes me like incredibly unique. But not unique in a way that I get ego about, but that adds such a relief. Because the more that I stop allowing within myself this negative surge of energy, the more healthy I'll become, the more peaceful I'll become, the more kindly I'll become, the more understanding I'll become, the more determined I'll become, and the more loving towards others I'll become. So I'll be able to, because I'll have been there, I'll have been everywhere actually, I'll begin to understand all the different situations. And I can be therefore very, very helpful of others. So if you can say or do anything in life, say or do something positive. And the result of that positive energy, you'd be amazed. If you sit in a morning, especially, and look at situations and share those worries with the divine, and then show your plan that you now plan to do it differently, that you're going to send out powerful vibrations, the good wishes and goodwill, that they do well, that they're successful, that they're kindly, that they are this or whatever it is you see, and use your time to do that, you might get quite a surprise at how the situation does change. And the more time goes on and the heavier things become out there on the big scale, then the more you'll be able to see the wonder of, on the smaller scale, these powerful positive vibrations. These positive vibrations are actually alien to most people on the planet. They're very different. You have to get used to the fact that what you're doing is something very different. It's different enough to allow you to be happy under most circumstances. In circumstances of extreme discomfort, you can actually begin to feel, I understand this, so I'm okay with this. So if there's something you have to do, do it now. Do it today. Don't put it off, because at that point of time the energy's open. Everything's there for you. It's there, like, there you go, there's the space. It's ready for you to put that energy in. If you think, I might do it tomorrow, you do it tomorrow, the door might have closed. And then you'll think, well, it really never worked, because the situation had changed. Everyone's energy by that time had changed also. So do it now, do it today. They say, there's a saying, someone reminded me of this saying, that procrastination is the thief of time. And so spread positive ripples now, today, for you. And you'll get the benefit in your energy. Now, today. Om Shanti. I think we have some questions.
Well, just going straight back to doing things now. What is that sort of step of courage that I need to do it now, rather than put it off till tomorrow? Because quite often, if I procrastinate, it's because it's maybe I'm afraid of the person's reaction. If I want to communicate something. So what is that step of courage?
The step of courage is I need to have faith in myself, in what I've been doing, why I've been doing it, and that there has to have been an effect. I mean, there's an effect if I'm angry with someone. There's an effect if I go into crying and tears and frustration and grief, and I pull myself down, and there's an effect to that. So there has to also be an effect of faith in the self, the wonder of the self for what I'm doing now, and courage in the self, and absolute determination that I'm going to make use of the opportunity of good energy, doing something that's good for me and good for others. Yeah.
Could you say something more about time and energy then? Because that's quite interesting. You were saying it's as if there's an opening at that moment, and if I don't take the opportunity, then even in a couple of hours things have moved on. Everybody's changed.
Well, there's a lot of us on the planet, and we're all thinking thoughts. And second by second, see, everyone's energy is involved in the planet, in the disturbances, in the upliftment or whatever, whether they do or they don't or whatever, but nearly everyone's involved in the heavy energy. And at that second, if you have the thought to do something different, that thought is like a magic wand, actually. It's full of power. It's absolutely the reason you had that thought. You felt a feeling, and that feeling is very powerful. And at that second, if you think it, or start to say it's a physical task, I think what I used to do, and I'd encourage others to do, was maybe it's not possible today that you could actually do that task, but you've had the vision of that task, you've had the determination for that task, you've had the thought, and I would write down something to do with it, or pull out something to start, so that I had got my foot in that space, if you like. And then I would let myself think about it and do and move that forward, and you'd find it would move forward. But if I said, I'll do it maybe tomorrow, I'll maybe do it tomorrow, I'll possibly do it tomorrow, well, even then you yourself didn't have that faith. You yourself thought, that's maybe a good idea, but I'm not sure. You wouldn't have faith in yourself, actually. And so by the time you got round to it, it had gone cold, actually. The idea had gone cold. You yourself weren't so inspired. You weren't so up and ready to go. You weren't sure, so it would be hard work. And you'd think, what was it that made me so enthusiastic? So you yourself wouldn't have the power to do, if that makes sense. If you get a really good idea, at least put your foot on the line and keep the door open. Make some notes, grab some bits of paper, whatever it is you have to do, check out something that you might check out to do with it, get enthusiastic, keep the enthusiasm going, and then you might find that, you know, it'll go from higher to higher, and it'll work. Does that make sense? Okay.
And also, I've heard you say before as well, if you can like soothe someone's heart, don't put that off even for 5 minutes. Just send the message, make the call, do it now.
So if you've had a bit of a run-in with someone, or they've had a run-in with you, and even it's a little thing or it might be a big thing, and you might feel that you were absolutely right and totally justified, and they were dreadful. You might almost feel like saying, oh, well, let them just be. Let them just be. They'll come to their senses tomorrow. But between now and tomorrow, they would accumulate a mass of sorrow and waste thoughts as to be unbelievable, and they could all be directed to you because you're the one they had the run-in with. They would be calling you all the names, they would want revenge, they would hate you, they would want all the worst things in the world to happen to you, but they themselves, their hearts would be in such a turmoil, and they wouldn't be able to sleep maybe, they'd be burning up with upset and such a state. So I always say, oh, for goodness sake, get on the phone and do everything it takes. If it's possible to see them, but now it isn't at this point in time, but get there, sort of look at them and tell them and comfort them and show them that this isn't right, you know, it's okay, everything's okay, never mind all that, let that go, let it go, let go, I'm not upset by it, don't you be upset by it anymore, I'm okay by it, I understand. But you have to make it okay to soothe the heart of someone, or they will dramatically go down into very negative ways. Okay. Anything else?
Well, finally back to one of the first points, which was don't take sorrow, and I think it's such a habit when there's not self-reflection or meditation. Someone says something and then you just blow it out of all proportion. So it could just even be something very small. You take it in and you work on it and you expand it into something much bigger even than it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't even meant to be that bad or hurtful. So could you say something about how meditation helps to give me a completely different take on how to approach when people say things to me that maybe aren't absolutely lovely.
Well, there's the law of karma, you know, what you put out, you get back. And if you keep thinking negatively, 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 you're making it, whatever was hurting you, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So every time you take in sorrow, the scars and the sorrow is getting deeper and deeper. So every time you stop that, you're giving it a chance to heal. If you replace it with something like a peaceful attitude or a kindly attitude, then your energy of kindliness and peace is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So you want to encourage the good energy, and you want to discourage the stuff that's hurting. And you can't get away from that. It's not just us saying that. This is the law of energy. The whole thing is about the law of energy. Whatever you take in, if it's good, it'll encourage your goodness. If it's bad, so you've taken sorrow from that, it'll encourage the sorrow inside you to develop at a faster speed. And so you'll feel like a victim, you'll be disempowered. It just goes on and on and on. Whereas if I stop and say, don't go there. So remember your self-respect, who you are. You're a soul. And so just keep that vision and keep this thought of the ripples as well. But also for yourself, you don't want that energy in you. You don't want to be grabbing sadness and going over it and over it in your mind. You'll make it worse and worse and worse. So don't take sorrow, and that's why don't give sorrow to others. If you think you have, just get in there and phone them up and sort them out and try your best. Whatever it takes, be really humble and do your best to say you're so God. Even if you were right, I would say even if you were right, you have to say, I'm so sorry I upset you. I'm so sorry. And so that they stop this going down that track through interaction with you. Okay, so thank you. So maybe just a couple of minutes of stillness. We're all souls. I'm a soul. A being of peace and a being of love. And I teach myself to have understanding. I keep my connection with a higher power. This makes me feel safe. I feel I need to have strength in myself to be able to go through this journey, through all the different obstacles that come in the path. And I need a powerful energy to support me. I'm a soul, a being of light. And my nature is peace and love and happiness. Om Shanti.